Good morning, Anne.
Good morning, James.
And good morning, everybody. As always, hopefully you are all having a great weekend or a great week whenever it is that you are listening. Sunday morning, Anne, and here we are again.
As always.
As always. And again, are you happy to begin?
I am, yes.
Brilliant. Where would you like to start this morning?
I'd like to start with a group of us going to the theatre last week to the Royal Exchange.
Okay.
And I found it very interesting.
Yes.
Because I couldn't understand it at all.
Right, okay. I was there as well with a group of friends, yes.
So what I'd like to talk about is that it made me think about things that we all do. We all go to see things, and do we understand what we're watching? Do we understand what's going on in the world?
Right.
So I'd like to explain my experience, because this is the first time this has happened to me, that I've gone to a theatre and literally not understood what the play was about.
Right, okay.
On the way home, yourself and Jackie were explaining to me the story of the play.
Absolutely. Just to be clear and to support you a little bit, I don't feel that I comprehended the play particularly well. I feel that I, with the help of Jackie, started to make sense of some of the things and feelings and themes that were shaping what I thought. But I don't feel I had a grasp, or at least a good grasp, on what the play was actually about.
Yes. So Jackie was very, very good. Jackie's brilliant at listening and observing.
Yes.
She really is. She doesn't miss anything.
When you're awake, Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she explained the play to us, what the play was about, which made me think that really before we actually do anything, we should have some idea of what we're going to do or what we're going to see. Now, I wouldn't want to know the end of a book or anything, but with this particular play, it was set in Ireland.
Yes.
Which is obviously always interesting, the things that go on in Ireland.
It was set in Donegal.
It was, yes.
Yes.
And it was 4 sisters.
Yes.
So when the play started, I didn't know where this place was that they were. I know it's Donegal.
Yes.
In my own mind, this shows me what imagination can do. I thought at first that, is this a home, because their child was mentioned, is this a home in Ireland for unmarried mothers?
Right.
At first.
Okay.
And then as it progressed, I still wasn't quite sure.
Yes.
But what the play brought in, it brought in many different emotions that people go through. And one was that we get tied up in feelings and doing things every single day.
Right.
And we need a break.
Okay.
So what I saw from these sisters
Yes.
was that they were very confined. They felt very confined. I'm not going into the play because I didn't...
You didn't understand it.
Yes. But
I agree with you about this statement of them being confined.
And they were confined, in this room.
Yeah.
Except for one sister who was a teacher.
Right.
Who saw world a little bit different than the other 3. But then at times they would suddenly start dancing, and a bit raucous, really.
Yes.
So I then started to think about the pandemic.
Right.
How people were during the pandemic when we were all confined.
Yes,
because we were confined then.
Yes.
And it affected many people differently.
So pent-up energy.
Pent-up energy, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether, since the pandemic, that this pent-up energy now needs to be released. So do we need some joy in our lives? Because we have a lot of darkness with what's going on in this world, and a lot of dullness around.
Yes, that's a really good point. Just firstly, if it's okay, Anne.
Yeah.
This, I feel, the conversation this morning, you thinking aloud about your experience of the theatre and not understanding the play, or feeling you didn't understand the play, yet you have meaningful and insightful comments about it. And isn't that wonderful about theatre? Yes. And isn't that wonderful about art in general and about our engagement with it? Is that even when we don't understand it, we're still reflecting upon something that means something to us. and opens up a pathway of questioning, understanding, exploration, challenge, all of that. That's why art is so important. That's why theatre particularly is so important, because it's life, and it's a direct reflection and relation of life, people and life, life and people. And the stories that we tell to ourselves, i.e. a performance to an audience, is a direct interplay of life and meaning. And the evolution of life and the evolution of civilization has been fundamentally shaped, not singularly, but definitely underpinned by storytelling and theatre, drama.
Yes.
It's so important. I am biased with it because I am passionate about it. But I do feel that it's something that everybody potentially can enjoy, even if they don't understand something. Because as you've highlighted with this particular play, you didn't really understand what you were watching, yet subliminally, really, from just watching the visual aesthetics of the actual set, and it was quite an impressive set, actually.
Yes.
A really comprehensive set at the Royal Exchange in Manchester. They used every part of it, and then some of the audience space as well, was communicating meaning to you that you have gone home and in the subsequent week reflected upon, and it's led you to inquire what's happening in our world and the after effects of the COVID pandemic and people being locked in for long periods of time. I think that's wonderful that process can happen. And I hope that many children, all people, but certainly children, can have minds that can work in this way. And this can happen with books that we read, with poems that we read, with pictures and paintings that we can observe, with dance that we can participate in and watch, music that we can participate in and watch, with film. Art and storytelling and life and meaning are so, so, so important to the evolution of our minds, our hearts, and ultimately our human experience, our story together. So yes, in terms of your primary point, I agree with what you said. I do feel that we do need joy. We need people to be turning towards what is exciting and fills people with a sense of optimism and motivation and a sense of can do. A real sense of yes, we can. Not separate from the trials and tribulations and all that is happening in our world. Not in spite of it, in a way because of it.
Yes, definitely.
Because it really is the antidote, and we need to turn towards what's happening in our world fully, and at times that is very challenging. And it's a heavy world. It feels heavy. But we can change that, and we can change that inside ourselves, and then we can take that force out into the world and change the world around us from inside ourselves. And the power of us coming together in that cannot be quantified.
So I think we get set.
Yes.
I think from a very, very young age, we get set in our ways.
Yes.
Of what is right, what is wrong. Should we do this? Should we not do this? And I have two things which I will always say I don't like. And the first one is Shakespeare, because I don't understand the language.
Right, okay.
And I really don't understand. That's another thing I don't understand. But
You're not the only one.
I know. But
to be honest, it's pretty much everybody that doesn't understand the Shakespearean language, to be honest with you. Lots of people nod, but most people don't really understand it.
But the other thing is classical music. So I've always said, well, I don't like classical music. Both of those I was taken with school from the age of 11, which was a privilege, should have been a privilege.
And it's put you off.
But I was too young and it's put me off. But what I'd like to say about the classical music is that we had Bob the Builder here.
Yes.
To do these, put some lights in for me. And all day he played classical music.
Yes, he worked at Classical FM.
I was doing some work in the conservatory and the music was on as he was working.
Yes.
And funnily enough, he didn't know anything about me or my choice in music. And at the end of the day, he said to me, "What did you think, Anne? I'm sorry, I didn't ask you. Was the music all right?" And I said, to be honest, Bob, I've really enjoyed it, because I
Brilliant.
was sat quietly
Yes.
doing something, and that
Yes.
music was in the background, and it was classic, wasn't it? What is it? Classic FM.
As far as I'm aware,
Yeah,
Classic
Classic
FM.
FM. It was Classic FM he was playing.
Right.
And I enjoyed just sitting there with the quietness. So sometimes
Very soothing.
yeah, it was a really soothing afternoon that I was sat there
Good.
while he was working.
Yeah, good.
So joy is people have stopped going to the theatre. People are not going to the cinema. I think the joy may come if we all start getting out of our comfort zones and experimenting and doing other things that are exciting.
Absolutely. What I would love is a real, a genuine renaissance in a way, but a mini one for now, is not only for people to start participating and going to theatre, film, music festivals, live gigs, comedy shows. It's for people to start making them again, creating them again. I feel that it's drying up in terms of the youth particularly, but this could start at any age, where people are not wanting to join a band. They're not growing their hair, they're not getting a guitar, they're not buying a denim jacket, a leather jacket, they're not popping the collar. Why are young people not doing this? Why are young dancers not dancing all day? Why are young authors not writing anymore? Obviously there will be, of course there will be, and it may be your child or grandchild that is enthused by this, but increasingly from the young people that I meet, they are becoming more and more consumed by online material, and they talk about becoming a content creator and making...
Influencer.
Yes, an influencer, product placement influencer, and making stupid videos about falling over or things spilling or filming cats. It's just absolutely nonsensical. Literally, it makes no sense. And it's all about getting attention. It doesn't produce anything. This maybe is biased or subjective or certainly an opinion, but it doesn't bring forth real meaning into the world. I would like young people to get immersed in music, in dance, in fashion, in art, in science, in literature, in history, in sport, in books, in chess, in drafts, in dominoes, in golf, in carpentry, in mechanics, in farming, hairdressing, barbering, anything that's a true passion project but has a material reality, but also has a meaningful reality. There is a signature of each individual in whatever it is that they're participating, and it exists in our lives, and it contributes something unique and meaningful, and it imprints on our life that, of course, it can be captured. Music for a long time now has been caught digitally and has been shared digitally, all the way back to the wireless. That wasn't digital, but in terms of an apparatus, a technological interface that communicated meaning in the terms of radio. Radio plays music, all the way through now to smartphones. Of course, the technological evolution has been there, but it's been human-led. It was humans making it,
Yes.
humans editing it, humans constructing the technology, and humans consuming the technology in terms of the play or the music or whatever it might be. Now what we have is machines that are constructing machines that are creating content, and humans are becoming machine-like as they consume the content. And people are not thinking like humans anymore. And that has got to change. And the exciting thing about it is let's do it. Let's create meaning again. Let's bring back life, excitement. Let's bring rock and roll back in terms of a feeling, or even rock and roll literally back. As in, can you imagine living in a world where there's no electric guitar, and then the electric guitar is played for the first time? And some of you listening maybe have lived through that. To be young people that first heard that electric guitar must have been mind-blowing. And for people like Hendrix to come along, and Cream and the Beatles, Jimmy Page, and to play so with such abandon and such life and such colour and such passion and purpose, must have literally blown the top of people's heads off. Never mind what people were consuming otherwise. But just in terms of musically, it must have been such permission to express oneself with freedom and colour and life. And that's got to come back. I'm thinking about haircuts. A random subject, I know, but how many people have got the same haircut? How many young people have got the same haircut? I know that fashion, in terms of style,
got the same clothes, never mind the same haircut. They're all in black.
And they're all terrible haircuts. No, that's not true. The vast majority is bland and boring. I mean, Vidal Sassoon, mods and rockers.
Yes.
And I know haircuts do exist and fashions and fads and crazes come and go. But a real sense of style and purpose, even if it is countercultural or challenges what parents and grandparents would like to see. Yeah, just the last wave I can remember with the youth has been the Peaky Blinders haircuts, which is this really
Awful.
stark contrast of it being shaved around the sides, which, as a cultural phenomenon, Peaky Blinders did have that impact. And it is a very exciting show. But that was over 10 years ago now.
Is it that long?
In terms of the first series, yes. I think so, over 10 years. If it's not over 10 years, it's not far off.
Well.
So, yeah, for young boys and girls or for people of any age to get a new haircut. Can we remember that the last time people got a new haircut, something different, or bought a different type of jacket? I'm not talking about a great expense here, or just wore something in a different way. Or maybe listen, like you said, listen to some music that you haven't listened to either ever before or for a while. Read a book that's outside of your norm. Watch a television programme that's different. Try something different.
Yes.
Go somewhere different. Live, basically. And I'm not talking about necessarily at all at a great financial expense, but adventure and curiosity with conscience, of course. I'm not talking about no morality in terms of abandon one's conscience, but one's conscience does, if you engage with it, encourage anyone to live and to laugh and to love and then to cry if necessary. A time for everything. We've got to live. Otherwise the world will die.
I think what you're saying there is similar to what we've talked about in other weeks, really, is that last week we were talking about compassion. I think what you're talking about now also is that I think the feeling has gone. And this is my opinion, not anybody else's, is feeling starts with hands.
Right.
So we feel. A child's first knowledge is touching the faces with the fingers.
Yes.
Looking at the toes,
chewing on
the
the
fingers.
Oh.
Chewing their toes, they can pick their leg up and they chew their toes.
Yeah.
It's feel. They live by feel. And what's happened is we stopped feeling because we're using an instrument instead of feeling. So we've got something in our hands instead of a pen.
Yes.
Even writing now, people don't write anymore. They don't write letters.
Yes.
And imagine, and it's not your generation, I know, but we used to look for the postman and wait for the postman to come if there were any letters, to read a letter. And we would keep letters for years and years, and then we would go back to them. But that person had wrote that letter from their heart.
Yes.
So if you're writing a story, if a child's writing a story, they're painting a picture, they're doing it from their heart.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong, is we've not got the sensation or the touch. And my husband used to play the piano.
Yes.
He was also an artist and he made beautiful pictures, but he used to play the piano and the guitar. But with the piano and the guitars, sometimes he changed instruments. So he would go from an ordinary piano to an electric one.
Yeah.
And I would say to him, I don't like the electric one. And you say, why? It doesn't sound the same.
Yes.
When you're listening to them, if you're used to hearing the difference, the sound is completely different with the electric.
Right.
As if they're playing, and he used to play by ear.
Yes.
So just playing on the piano by ear was
Yeah.
beautiful.
A purer sound.
Much purer.
You could feel him.
I could feel him.
Yes,
and
I
that's the
understand.
same with the picture.
Yeah.
Children are now doing computer art.
They are,
But
yes.
there's no life in that computer art.
No. Not to the same extent.
No.
Nothing like the same extent.
The same on, if I'm doing the, Strive for Truth or Circle of Love
Right.
Facebook.
Yes.
When I'm looking at it, I immediately know when it's AI.
Yes.
Look, just looking at it,
Yes.
I know it's AI. And I don't understand why people can't see it, because it's as bland as what you were talking about before
Yes.
with everybody. Everything's become bland.
Everybody's got the same teeth now.
Yes.
This
The white.
perfect porcelain smile.
Rylands.
Well, Ryland's teeth are slightly different. I actually very much like Ryland. I don't know if anybody's
like
watched
him
it.
as well.
Rob
I
Rinder
really
and
like
Ryland on their adventures
they
to
should.
Italy
Yes.
and Passage to India. If you haven't seen it, you will be able to
Yes.
catch up on it on BBC iPlayer. And it's really enjoyable. And I think they would be in favour of our call for a romantic renaissance and a passionate, art-filled future. I feel that they are 100% behind the sentiment of what we're talking about. Yeah, everybody's got the same teeth, haven't they, in terms of it's boring.
Yes.
So even people's wonky noses and big ears are being pinned away.
Character.
Yeah, life.
Yeah. We should be different. There's no
And how
animal the same.
how can we shape personalities if we don't have differing physical attributes? If everybody, and this is a stereotype, but if everybody's the same shape and size, essentially everybody's going to have a similar-ish personality if it continues, and that's bland. So the myriad of different physicalities and the plethora of personalities are part of the same tapestry.
Yes.
And isn't that wonderful? If we learn to appreciate it, or probably a more accurate way of stating it is if we remember to appreciate it, and maybe we can even extend that into celebrating it. So I feel we should bring back life, and we've got the tools to do it. When people say, what can we do? What can we do? Well, you can play music, you can sing. When was the last time that people put music on around the house? You listening this morning, you may do it every single day, but why iron to the music, clean up to music, listen to the radio, sing along to the songs. When you're driving, the last time you were singing at the top of your voice when people are looking at you funny at the traffic lights, rather than just listening to the news or being consumed by opinionated podcasts, which I at times enjoy as well.
The podcasts are taking over again as well.
Yeah.
They are taking over.
Yeah, I'll go out with friends to a pub quiz or to a live music gig, even if, just at your local pub or village hall or something like that. A local fair, participate in a local community event, anything, everything. Read a book, read a newspaper, bake a cake, sit out in the evening when it's mild and warm, even at this time of year. Go and stand in the rain for 5 minutes and let it soak you through. Enjoy your bubble bath, anything. Get back to feeling, get back to life, get back to living, simple, basic living, which isn't simple or basic in experience at all, because it gives life purpose and meaning and starts to unlock a feeling. And of course, that isn't the beginning and the end of everything, but it can be a way that we can get back a sense of humanity, a sense of life, a sense of enjoyment, a sense of purpose, and a sense of being alive. And that's so important at the moment, because this postmodern nihilistic vacuumous nothingness is consuming everything, and this technocratic answer to everything does not suffice. So the romantics out there,
Well, we went on the train.
Let's live.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to the theatre on the train on Saturday,
Yes.
and when we got on the train, it was packed because there was something going on at I think it was a rugby match was on.
It was the grand final of the Super League,
Yes.
Rugby League at Old Trafford.
So we had to go through Old Trafford on the tram itself.
Yes.
So it was packed, and as we got on, there was just one seat at the side, And Jackie said to me, do you want the seat? Well, Jackie's had an operation on her knee a few weeks ago. So I said, no, you sit down because, you've got your knees still healing. And a gentleman on the other side stood up and said to me, you can have this seat. But as he stood up, his son stood up at the same time, a boy about 13.
Yes.
And he said, you can have both these seats together.
Right.
And it was such a pleasure to see it naturally happen. When it's full, a coach is full of men.
Right.
And nobody gets up.
Yes.
I'm not saying they have to get up,
Yes.
but it was normal, everyday manners.
Yes.
At
Chivalry.
one time, chivalry.
Yes.
And I would not be allowed to sit down. As a woman, even as a young girl, you didn't sit down if somebody elderly got on.
Yes.
You automatically stood up. Or your mother would move you in between her legs to stand
Yes.
while somebody sat down. So I think if we bring back that magic of all being in one place, but be aware, we're not aware even, we've got to be aware of our surroundings.
Yeah.
Like you said in the beginning, I was aware of what was happening in the play but didn't understand it, but I still got a lot out of it.
Absolutely. It's still a worthwhile experience.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely, yeah.
We participated in life.
Yes.
And I hope you all feel that this morning by listening to the podcast. We, in a sense, have a collective experience. Hopefully millions of people, maybe shooting for the stars a
Yes.
little bit. But a few people listening, many people
Yes.
listening, creates a sense of community, a sense of togetherness, a sense of participation. Everybody may take something different from it, but there is a sense of a togetherness, a community, life. That has to be the starting point for change. It has to be, because I don't think anything else will succeed. It's got to be a unifying place where we can all agree upon, in a literal sense, in terms of, I don't mean a geographical place, but I mean in terms of a literal place in principle, or place in essence that we can come to, which is life, and be alive again, and be human again, and be flawed, perfectly flawed, with personality, and learn and grow and support each other in that. And remember that this is an amazing adventure. Life is an amazing adventure. And the unknowns only add to its mystery and its magic. And it's not weak or feeble or naive to not know what's going on and to live from a spiritual context, from a context that is far greater in meaning than words can ever explain or discovery can ever catch up with. That there is a never-folding horizon in front of us that is always outside of our grasp, and that we can only ever understand a tiny fragment of whatever is going on. And,
Magic.
And isn't that amazing?
Yes,
It
it's
is
magic.
magical. It is absolutely magical. And such words are as apt as empirical, scientific, measurable points of view, which are also important. But the magic has got to come back.
Even
The adventure
going
has
for
got
fish
to
and
be
chips.
lived. Absolutely.
Fish and chips before we started. It's
Absolutely.
magical, isn't it?
Yes.
'Cause we look forward to that as well.
Yes.
That's simple joy.
Yes. To get back to life, to get back to living, to get back to taking pleasure from the simple joys in life. And I agree with you, Anne. And I hope you all this morning can do that. Enjoy your marmalade on toast, or your bacon sandwich, or your porridge and blueberries.
Give them a full English breakfast.
Get tuck into your full English breakfast, yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
mash about the fat.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Have it. Go for a walk afterwards. Yeah, go swimming. Go and watch a local football match. Watch a film you've not watched in a while. Get some popcorn in. Yeah, make an afternoon of it. Call a friend. Live. Live. And the more we share that with each other, what makes music so exciting, what makes film so exciting, what makes theatre so exciting, and books, is that other people are simultaneously and collectively enjoying what we're enjoying.
Yes.
There's something magical about that, which is why movements in music happen, for instance, when a band really captures off, because it's exciting that you have found an album. You found a band, a sound, a vibe, a feel that speaks to you, but so have millions of other people. And you feel a part of something.
Yeah.
The same with a film. A great film doesn't lose its poignancy, its power, its purpose, its message by millions of people, hundreds of millions of people sometimes, also really enjoying it. Some of the most powerful, the most celebrated films, the most critically acclaimed films have been massively consumed in terms of the masses have consumed them. People have loved them. So share it. Talk about what you love. Talk about life. Bring some passion back, because the human being is a passionate creature. And then, and maybe this is for another time, people will start to live passionately and then love passionately again. Well, there you go. The human race can actually come back to life.
Yes.
So yes, hope is definitely lost. Not lost, I should say. Hope is not lost. So we go, and we go together.
All from me not understanding a play.
Well, there you go.
We go.
That's a stream of consciousness, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, an interesting conversation out of something and nothing.
Okay.
I think that's the end, Dan.
It is.
Brilliant. We'll
Time
have a-
again.
It is. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, or a wonderful week whenever you are listening. And as always, we look forward to being with you and speaking with you again next Sunday morning. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.